epic mini LED battle today, the TCL QM9K against the Hisense U8Q. Up next.
I've seen things people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Brian, this is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me for this comparison of the TCL QM9K and the Hisense U8Q. Watching these two manufacturers battle it out is really the war to come in terms of who wants the top spot, not just in mini LEDs, but the entire TV world. For many years, both of them just wanted a place at the table, just to be brought up in conversation. They were value-based. Now, they are looking not only to have a place at the table, but to create their own table. Without further ado, let's check out the TCL QM9K and the Hisense U8Q. Thank you so much for watching. Alright guys, let's do it. Build quality and design for the TCL QM9K on the right and the Hisense U8Q on the left. Both are 65 inches. It really is amazing to see the journey of both manufacturers, not just improving over the years in regards to image quality and processing, but also in terms of build quality and design. We have a metal center stand on the QM9K, very small TCL badging. We have a Bang & Olufsen sound system badging here on the right, and also while having a silver bezel, we do have very small badging on the right-hand side as well. The QM9K is not very thick, but thick enough for a mini LED with that many zones. We have two positions on the center stand, both flush and high. Here we are in the higher position. On the U8Q, we have an equally high-end but totally different type of design. We have a black frame, shiny all the way around the border of the TV, very small Hisense badging, a very heavy center stand with two positions. We are in the higher position here. We can also be more flush as well. In the highest position for both, the Hisense U8Q is slightly taller but does have a thicker bezel. You have a very similar to Hisense's UX lineup design. You have speakers on the side as well as a display port, which is very unique for any TV. Speakers all throughout the frame of the TV. It has a classic look to it. It is very heavy. The U8Q is an absolute beast, where the QM9K is more streamlined. The QM9K has a borderless design that is identical to the QM8K. You can see the matrix border there present on the U8Q and not there at all on the QM9K. It's a very nice touch on the QM9K, but it will make the TV look smaller than the same size U8Q from Hisense. So black bezel for the stand and accents for the Hisense, and a silver bezel and accents for the QM9K. Looking at the back here, we have textured backs on both TVs. You have the Bang & Olufsen sound system on the back of the QM9K. And you have a black anodized speaker system on the Hisense U8Q. Let's get into some reflection handling. We'll cover HDMI inputs in the gaming section. You can see we have a glossy screen on both the QM9K and the U8Q, but they do handle reflections very differently. As you can see very clearly with the window hitting the U8Q, it's very clear. You can see here it does have a foggy look on the QM9K. As I center myself in between the two TVs, you can see that the U8Q has a better reflection handling as far as swallowing those reflections. You can barely see me. Now I'm going to break out a very bright light, which is really exaggerated on camera, but you can see how clear the reflection is on the U8Q, and then you see the scattered effect of the reflection handling of the QM9K. Now that said, it does an excellent job with sunlight. On this bright light, it is exaggerated, but I needed to show you the differences between the two. Let's take a step back so you can see the reflections a bit differently. Both are excellent TVs, extremely bright with very good reflection handling, albeit handling it very differently. Let's move on to our picture preset overview and comparison. We have many different picture presets, and we will do the best we can to match them up here, going through them one at a time. We began in HDR Theater versus Movie. We also moved into Filmaker on both TVs. I went back and forth to show you that on the U8Q, Theater and Filmaker are very different from one another. However, on the QM9K, Filmaker and Movie are nearly the same, some subtle differences. So as we match these up perceptually by preset, which is how we will match them up, you will see very different impacts, though they are in similar presets. For me, the picture presets are one of the most important things, as they are the signature of each manufacturer, and both manufacturers handle this very differently. I keep the settings as is. If one has a certain kind of tone mapping, I don't match them. It is on the manufacturer to represent that preset. If it's standard versus standard, sports versus sports, what I want them to do is look different and really show you their interpretation of what that preset means. Not just leave them in Filmaker and give you a short video, but show you each preset in different ways in different content. That said, we'll roll with HDR Theater on the U8Q and Movie on the TCL QM9K. Now I have a TCL QM8K in the room, but it's 85 inches, and all I hear is complaints about comparing TVs of the wrong sizes. So I'm going to compare the QM9K to the U8Q. In my opinion, the QM8K is actually a better match versus the U8Q, only because it matches up better in terms of color. It is more accurate, as accurate as the U8Q, where the QM9K is a bit brighter and does have slightly better local dimming than the QM8K. But that cooler tone that you see on the QM9K is present, but not present on the QM8K. However, that said, these TVs are very equal and match up very well. Let's move into our motion and sports. We'll check out some fast-moving content from our good friend Jennifer Gala. Both TVs have excellent motion in terms of fast-moving content. There is a ton of customization on both, being the flagship or the top of the line for each. Speaking of that, I know many of you rather see the Hisense U9Q or the TCL X11K. Both manufacturers have very obscure lineups at times that don't always see the light of day. I've seen the U9Q at Hisense events, but not in person, and to my knowledge, it hasn't really been released, at least not widespread in the US. And I wouldn't have access to that model anyway, where the X11K is a very high-end enthusiast TV with some features from 2024, so it's not really part of this specific 2025 TCL lineup. So neither one of those contenders are here for all intensive purposes. For the mini LED, non-RGB mini LED, these are the flagships of both manufacturers. Now, what are the differences that I see and what differences will you see on camera? They are very similar and very different. Both have a very high zone count and are very bright. The QM9K spec-wise should be much brighter, but that does not show up on camera. That's where those presets are very important. While the QM9K may have the headroom to be brighter, there are a lot of times the U8Q is the brighter TV. And as I mentioned, that might simply be down to the presets and how they are designed by the manufacturing team. They do trade shots depending on the content. Moving into our good friend Jennifer Gala's content at 4,000 nits, you can see here, whatever TV on camera seems to clip, that is the brighter TV. And in this shot at 4,000 and 10,000 nits, the U8Q appears brighter while the QM9K retains more color. Switch that around into the next shot and the QM9K now appears brighter. We are in the vivid preset, by the way. A very special shout out to the one and only Jennifer Gala and her second channel, HDR SUPER CHANNEL. The majority content seen within this video and intro is from both of those channels. Check the description below for links to both channels and consider becoming a Patreon member to Jen's main channel and download all of this amazing content in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos for your next TV. Let's move into the local dimming portion of the video. Both the Hisense U8Q and the TCL QM9K are excellent mini LEDs with fantastic local dimming. These are very quick, very difficult transitions for any local dimming, and both do an amazing job, especially dead center. In our local dimming drip, the Hisense U8Q does appear brighter just for a few seconds than the QM9K. Then it catches up and they both equalize and get very close to the same brightness as the screen fills up. The U8Q is VA at 65 inches. The QM9K is WHVA at all sizes. Again, both are amazing dead center. I do have the exposure up a little bit to be able to show the differences between the two. I will give the shadow detail the QM9K, but the more aggressive and perhaps a better local dimming to the U8Q. That said, that may cost a bit in terms of shadow detail for Hisense, but that again changes with each and every shot. Let's now check our black bar test from Jennifer Gala, and both are absolutely perfect. Even here in the standard preset, where there would be blooming, there is none. Let's take the camera off the tripod and look off angle on both TVs. U8Q has absolutely nothing on either top or bottom. QM9K, same thing. Both look fantastic in our black bar test. Now, regardless of the viewing angles here or even the camera exposure, both TVs look fantastic in regards to black bars. Now we go back into our local dimming drip again off of the tripod. I am going to raise the exposure here just so I can see a difference between the two. And it's funny how they trade shots. Initially, the U8Q looks nearly perfect. There's more haloing around the QM9K. Again, the exposure is up high. U8Q looks perfect, but watch as I walk away. Looks good. Then you'll see, I'll go back to it. You'll see haloing here. Then I back away, almost nothing. As I go back to the U8Q, looks fantastic. Now watch off the corner of your eye as I walk away. Here we go. You'll see it right now. Then you'll see a bit of the blooming there in the corner. And then back here in the QM9K. So you have to really raise the exposure and go off angle to show it on either TV. They both look absolutely amazing as I get back to the center, even with the exposure raised. But it was pretty interesting how just when you think one is pulling away, you catch it out of the corner of your eye. Like, wait a minute. And as they both fill up, they both look amazing. So both are extremely bright and have excellent local dimming, both dead center and off angle. I also want to acknowledge the journey of both manufacturers. I do believe that Hisense and TCL are going to be number one and number two, or number two and number one of the TV world. They're nearly there now. But it is incredible how they went from value-based brands that no one took seriously to now competing and winning market share and actually steering the industry to these very large, affordable and high-end mini LEDs. They are now steering the industry. Both have pioneered the ability to have large sizes for each model that they have in their lineups, as well as being mini LED from top to bottom. They have done that first before any of the other manufacturers, and that's pretty incredible. Both manufacturers have also taken sound very seriously. While you have the Bang & Olufsen sound system on the QM9K, and it does sound amazing, the U8Q's black anodized design and sound sounds equally as good. Pick whichever one you like best and roll with it. Both have backlit remotes, which I failed to show you. The Hisense has the same metal backlit remote they've had for the last few years. Why change it? Where the QM9K and the QM8K now also have a more premium metal backlit remote as well. Now, over 16 minutes into the video, what are you guys seeing? Please put in the comments in as much detail as possible what you're seeing from both the U8Q and the QM9K. You can see each segment, they trade shots, they behave differently. One takes the lead, one steps back, the other takes the lead. It's pretty amazing as we move into SDR. Now we're going to do SDR Sports. The U8Q is brighter in SDR in the other presets. However, you can raise the brightness on the QM9K at any time, which makes SDR brightness tricky. They are very comparable in SDR Sports. The U8Q is slightly brighter in SDR. The QM9K can easily be brighter if you feel like raising the brightness up. It won't affect the image quality. Both look great in SDR. Let's move into HDR10 Plus. Both manufacturers have both formats. We're here with HDR10 Plus. What I like about HDR10 Plus is you do still have the same picture presets open to you, where in Dolby Vision you have to choose through 3 different presets. Both look excellent, and again, it's amazing for both brands to have both formats. Let's move into Dolby Vision on the Spears & Munsell calibration benchmark disc. We are not in the darkest preset for Dolby Vision, but the mid, not vivid, but the mid preset for both. Both look excellent. They do look very different. Now, what are your thoughts, guys, on what you've seen so far and how close they look, how different they look, how the QM9K in shots looks a good deal brighter as you see here, and then in other shots, the U8Q looks brighter. What are you seeing in these differences? I find it fascinating where you do pick one and then realize, wait a second, I might be wrong. That's what I love about going through the different presets and all types of different content, which is why this kind of content is important to be able to see the differences between the two. Let's move into our Colombo upscaling test. Both do a terrific job of upscaling. This was a weakness for both manufacturers. It's quickly becoming a strength. They are definitely equal in this regard. Let's move on to gaming on the PS5 Pro. Now, gaming is also very interesting. The Hisense U8Q has 3 HDMI 2.1 capable of 4K 165 Hz. They also have a display port, which I showed you earlier in the video. That is very rare for a TV. That is very cool to have. Not really necessary when the rest of your HDMI ports do 4K 165. The TCL has 4 HDMI. 2 are HDMI 2.1 capable of 4K 144 Hz, meaning both are excellent for both PC and console. Like the rest of this video, both look great, but are very different. In a lot of games, they look nearly identical. In some games, like Ghost of Yotai, they looked very different. This is where the QM9K's brightness does show up. Not in every game, but in certain games, it was a good deal brighter. However, the U8Q does still have excellent depth and shadow detail. With the Hisense ULEDs, make sure your tone mapping is enabled in HDR. Let's go into the game bars. We're going to focus primarily on the different picture presets, as almost every manufacturer has a fully fledged game bar these days, and neither Hisense or TCL disappoint in that regard. Each preset does look different from the other, and their local dimming is in full effect in game mode. And the QM9K does have an HDIG toggle that you can enable. I don't love the way it looks, so I don't use it, but at least you know it's there. Now in Street Fighter, that brightness difference isn't as evident, but the QM9K is still brighter and more vibrant, but I do prefer the colors on the U8Q. Again, the colors are set the same according to preset. Both look excellent and both still do look different. Now, lastly, for gaming, let's move into SDR Gaming and see if that brightness that was on the U8Q and regular SDR is there in gaming. They're both plenty bright for SDR Gaming, but still the QM9K does have the edge in regards to brightness. Because we're not in HDR, you can always increase the brightness on the Hisense U8Q. Both excellent gaming TVs for console and PC. Now, in closing, I don't decide the winner of these videos, you guys do, which is why I just discussed a little bit about what I see and let you guys do the rest. Both are fantastic, very high-spec Quantum Dot Mini-LEDs, and they are both phenomenal. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? All the different shots that you've seen. Now, if you're wondering why you're seeing demo material, there's two reasons. One, this is what you need to see in order to really push these TVs. You have brightness from 2,000 nits up to 10,000 nits, most of it from Jennifer. Lastly, copyright is real on YouTube, and I cannot risk my channel and get a copyright strike that I can't fight just to show a few movies. I hope you understand. Please let me know what you think, who you think wins, which one you prefer. I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Take care.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. There can be only one.